And we are going live. Yeah, it is crazy. These races, they're flying by, man. It's going like a mile a minute, huh?
It's like Marty will like ask me about like what changes do we make this round and that round. I'm like, how long ago was that? He's like, that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I'm like, get the hell out of here.
That is too funny.
Like I've lost track. Like it feels like we were at Daytona months ago.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It
100%.
was only a couple weeks.
Yeah. All right, we are live. What's up, everybody? It's Dave Drakes with the Collective Experience, and we are back for another TCE Live Supercross watch party. Join this one is a guy that you guys have seen before. If you have ever seen any of our vlogs over the last couple of years, any of our one-off videos, you've seen this guy's pretty mug. It's the one and only Mack Engle. What's up, Mack?
What's going on, guys?
We're excited to get you on, buddy. You've got an extensive knowledge of the sport, being a mechanic for some pretty high-profile riders on the Firepower Honda team. So I'm stoked to get you to join this one. Dude, what are your initial thoughts of, I guess, the season? You and I were kind of rapping offline about, the season so far, how it's gone by so fast. What's been your initial impression as somebody who's been an integral part of a major team?
I mean, the first thing that comes to mind is there's just been like so many gnarly crashes.
Yep.
And like I don't really know what's horribly different this year compared to other. I just feel like, yeah, there's injuries every season and everything like that, but it just feels like everyone is crashing this year, and like the tracks don't look that much harder. A lot of guys are saying like the tracks are even easier. There's some layouts that are super simple. It's just like I think it's just everyone out there is pushing that hard.
Yeah.
And it's turning into some incredible racing. Like for instance, I think I watched the 450 Main Detroit live, which I don't get to do often because normally whenever I'm on the track, I'm just watching my one rider. But that was some of the best racing I've ever seen. Yeah, there was carnage everywhere, but even take that away, like those guys were pushing so hard. The top 8 guys were going the same pace, basically. It was insane.
Oh no, for sure. It's absolutely just the pace this year has been phenomenal by both coasts, both classes. I think the machinery is just absolutely dialed in this year, and the tracks are actually they're pretty brutal, man. So you got it spot on. So yeah, getting your perspective on this stuff is going to be absolutely paramount. If you guys want to get perspective one day, like Mack has, check out thecollectivexp.com, where you can be one of our interns at a race of your choice, working with top teams the same way that Mack does. It's such a great program to get people involved, whether you want to be a mechanic, a gear rep, media content manager, a team manager one day. We can get you the experience, the hands-on connections, and the immersion that you want and need to be at the top of the sport like Mack is. And we want you guys to be a part of it at thecollectivexp.com. At the Collective EX on Instagram. Contact at thecollectivexp.com for our email. Check us out. You can be like Mack one day and work for a pretty high profile team at the top pinnacle of the sport. And we are extremely honored to have all of our interns that we have come through and just bless us with their presence and go on and do some incredible, awesome, amazing things. And we want you to be part of it. Thecollectivexp.com. Also, shout out to our awesome sponsors, FXR Moto, Flow Vision Goggles, Evans Power Coolant, Overshear Advice and Planning, and of course, the great people at Intake Breathing Systems. Check them all out. We've got promo codes in the description below for you guys, so you can get hooked up like an industry expert. Matt, one thing that I want to delve into is the creation of your team, man, the Firepower Honda guys. I don't think people expected them to come out and really have a presence like you guys have had. I mean, you guys look extremely professional, number one. It almost looks like you guys have been doing this for the last 3-4 years. The riders in qualifying, really, really good. You guys have been absolutely solid when it comes to, locking some fast laps. What's it been like to have the team start just as like a brainchild amongst some people into a full-fledged race team, man? How's that whole process been?
Yeah, it's crazy because like this team wasn't even supposed to happen as far as like from last, I want to say July or August. Like it wasn't like our owner Yuri wasn't planning on doing a Supercross team this year.
Yeah.
And then just like kind of last minute for the scale that we are, like started throwing things together. Like I got the call for the job and they were like, when can you move down here? Like we need you yesterday. And just to see it go from like basically nothing, and then between Marty, the other mechanic, J-Hop, and like myself, just getting things, basically building this entire team. Marty's done an incredible job like managing all of that, and going from that to going like seeing like Jordan Smith and Jarrett Fry like progress from the start of like the off season to now. Like, yes, granted, like as of right now, like Jarrett Fry's results have been not the greatest, but like we're working to get there and everything. And like Jordan Smith has just been on it. Like a couple bad luck situation happens and stuff like that, but like he's been on it, and it's been really cool to see from like behind the scenes point. We're so small. It's only 4 or 5 of us. And we put so much work into making sure like we look like we're a factory team, operate like a factory team. Like that's a big part of like Marty and the owners like vision is like we're not a factory team. We're full like a privateer. Operate like we are.
I think it shows. It definitely shows. 100%.
Yeah, it's been crazy to see.
Factory.
Oh wow, the racing's already started. Would you look at that?
Yeah. Dude, we got Thury out front battling with Lawrence, man. You see that?
I see this.
Dude, he's looking really solid, man.
Dude, those club guys this year have just been impressive, like insane across the board.
And they're pretty privateer.
They're pretty privateer, and they're just like, I don't think anyone really had any of their names written down for anything. And like you've got Phil coming out, like Phil's got the speed. But you got him coming out and I think impressing a lot of people. And then just like the rest of the team, like Lopes has been riding crazy.
Oh, definitely.
And I mean, obviously, right now third is ripping.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now. We got Tony checking in all the way from New Zealand. We got Bobby. We got Jason O'Connell, who went riding without me today. Let's see what we got. We got Fire at Will. What's up, brother? Thank you guys for tuning into the chat. Ask away. We got Mack Engle. If you guys are just tuning in, one of the top mechanics over at the Firepower Honda team, ranching for Jarrett Fry. This dude is a wealth of knowledge, so please feel free to ask him all of your industry questions, and we're amped to watch the race with you guys. Don't forget, we've got our promo codes below for you guys to save some money on some great dude, product, whatever you need. We can help you get it. We're watching Craig get to the front, man. Got around Lawrence and Thury. Thury's a name that many people don't readily like recognize. That dude made me so many fantasy points like 2 years ago. It was absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's like
he's an Aussie guy, isn't he?
I'm not sure. But dude, like that's how like the story's been a lot this year in the 250 guys. A lot of guys that the normal fan, I guess, would have no idea who they are. Yeah. Coming out and pulling out top 10s, top 8s, stuff like that. Like there's a lot of young guys out there that are just fast.
Yeah. No, for sure. Fire at Will, shout out to you, dude. Thanks for the reminder on getting my picks in. I don't know if they're gonna be any good, but we'll see. Bobby's agreeing with you, man. He said the club has good bikes. It just seems like they've got problems with like their clutch and like little things kind of keeping them back with some bad luck here and there. But generally, those Yamahas are pretty bulletproof, man. You've worked in a couple of them. They seem to be like pretty decent bikes, and the new Hondas as well, man. And it's almost like you really can't find a bad 250 nowadays.
No, I mean, yeah, everything's so like modern and advanced and everything's so close. Like all these bikes are completely different and completely the same at the same time, if that makes any sense. Like
no, for sure.
The way they do things are completely separate from every brand, but either way, like they're all pretty solid bikes. They all have their little quirks like always, but it's not like there's one obvious better one over the other anymore.
No, and the thing is that like where teams like yours come into play is you guys really hand tailor the bike to be whatever the rider needs it to be. So even if the bike may not be the class leader in magazines, you guys can make that bike dialed in for each individual rider, which is really cool. One question I did have is like, what are some things that you guys do to make the riders more comfortable? Is it all suspension stuff? Is it tires? Like, what do you guys do with those Firepower Hondas to make them kind of tailored for each individual rider?
It's a little bit of everything. I would say the majority of it is suspension. We go through a ton of testing with factory connection.
Yeah.
It's Jordan's really good at like knowing what the bike is doing, knowing what it should be doing, and like communicating that to everyone who needs to hear it.
Yeah.
And we're always constantly making little updates and improvements to the bike. I think every change we've basically made has been a good one. With this new bike and new chassis, like it kind of there was really no data to go off of. So like there's a lot of suspension testing, a lot of that. But I mean, yeah, it goes down to tires, as far as like we run Pirelli. So if it's like a mid soft, which is like their softer compound, or what they call like a mid hard, which is like intermediate, like we switch between that. There's a couple different style front tires that we switch between, mainly depending on track. But like for the most part, I think these guys have been on the same rear and the same type of front all season, chosen by just like what they feel has the most hold up and stuff like that. It's even small things like geometry of like a chassis. We change fork height. We have engine hangers. We've got different length shocks, linkages, and stuff like that. Whatever, basically, like factory connection kind of has a say in a little bit of all that. They're more than just a suspension company, like a feel of the bike. If we're saying like, hey, it feels like it's doing this, even if it could be motor related somehow, factory connection might have an idea of how to adjust that and fix that or whatever it is. But basically, like we've got the ability to do pretty much whatever we need to do to make this bike as good as possible. And it's the same like across the board with like any team. Like you look at like the Bar X bikes, everyone rags on Suzuki's for being ancient because they haven't changed in forever, but those bikes are fast. Those bikes go good. Like those guys are getting great qualifying times, good overall finishes. Like with the right people behind it, like you can make any one of these, like bikes just incredible.
Yeah. Jason's saying it seems like he's got that you guys have nitrous in those firepower bikes. They're fast as hell off the line.
But we've Jamie from Twisted has come up with some pretty cool tricks to make these things go quick.
Yeah, no, dude,
for sure.
Got like a V8 engine in that thing. They're awesome. So we're watching Craig dominate the whoops right now, with a 3 second, over 3 second lead on top of Hunter Lawrence. Man, it's just Craig cannot be denied this title, man. I mean, think about how many times we've seen Craig lead a championship, lead a championship in points and just not get the job done. Where this year he looks like a completely different rider, man. Like this guy is here for the title. He's ready for. He's on an amazing bike, and he looks like it's his. From the get-go, dude, from the first practice in Anaheim 1, he looked like this was his championship, and it's just been a masterful ride. Mac, what does it take for a rider to like make that mental switch to like know that they're the man of the class? Like, you've worked with riders of all ages, all talent levels. How hard is it to make that switch to be like the guy?
It's rare in a lot of people. Like it's not, I can't necessarily say like everyone's got that switch or that ability to like get into that zone. A mental coach, I definitely am not, but it seems like it's just like you get those guys that seemingly either just like, it's almost like there's two categories. Like one side of it is the guys who have had it.
Yeah.
And like from the get-go, like from like young amateurs were just like the fastest guys came up and just were like impressive. Like Adam Cincerilla was, ever since I can remember, winning everything.
Yeah.
And like pro wise, like a lot of injuries and stuff like that, but still like when he's good, when he's on the bike, like he's one of the top guys. Like, and then you've got the guys like even like Christian Craig was really like at the beginning of his career, no one was like, oh, he's the guy. No one, I don't think a lot of people were saying that. He was obviously fast, but a lot of injuries, one that basically ended his career in his eyes for a little bit, and then came back to it. And then like, I think just him going through what he went through, that was the mental switch that he needed, because then he came back and like, even when the results weren't showing it, he, in his mind, he was the guy. And it's the same thing with like working with like Jordan Smith. In his mind, he's the guy.
Yes.
And you have to think that way if you're wanting go for anything near a top 3, let alone like a win.
Yeah.
If you have any doubt in yourself or like, oh, like those guys are way faster than me, like you can't line up next to Jet and be like, Jet's way faster than me. If you think that, like you're not going to go faster than them.
No, for sure.
So
it's such a mental thing you got to go through. You mentioned it a little bit. Like it's definitely a mental coach kind of realm, man. But I mean, I feel like as a mechanic for any one of these riders, like you guys almost have to play mental coach a little bit. Keep them energized, keep them focused, keep them feeling like they're the man. You know what I mean? I think a lot of that.
I do whatever I can, like on the line. Like it's hard because like I don't know, like Jarrett Fry is such a stone face kind of guy. Like it's hard to get like much out of him. Yeah. Very quiet and like not a lot of communication or whatever. And it's just like I'm on the line trying to get him pumped up and stuff like that. And like I'm starting to kind of try to figure him out. But yeah, like I've always been the type of like mechanic, like I'll try and get you like hyped up on the line. So as soon as that gate drops, you come out swinging hard. Cause like, especially at this level, like there's no time to make up a bad start. There's no time to make up a bad first lap. Yeah. Like a heat race goes by in a blink of an eye. Like if like watching it on TV is so much different than being down, like being down on the track, either like where I'm at or like on the bike, it's got to feel like it goes by in 2 laps. Yeah. Because it's just all of a sudden, like it's 2 laps to go and the race is basically decided. Like everyone's kind of thinned out and that's where like you're ending up. And like a lot of guys struggle with that first lap speed. Like if you look at like actual lap times, their first full lap is even close to a second off of what they're actually running for like the rest of the race. And like in Supercross especially, like you can't have that. You can't fall off a second or 2 from like the top guys and then expect to make that up later on. Exactly. So like I think like getting like pumped up, getting psyched up, doing whatever you got to do like to get in that zone, like to come out of like that gate attacking. I try and help them out with that, screaming at them like a little bit, something like that. You know, just every rider's a little different. Some people like I remember when I was working for Ross. I used to literally just scream, just nonsense, and he would get so pumped up and like black out almost, and like he would ride like the times that it would like work, he would ride that thing like I've never seen him and go faster than I've ever seen him go faster because he's not thinking anymore. You got to take yourself out of it a little bit. You got to do whatever you got to do to keep yourself like super pumped and energized. No, I agree with that 100%. You can see it in some mechanic rider relationships. Like you'll see a mechanic screaming, slapping the seat, pushing them, getting them amped up. I mean, you got to be in that mindset of like, I'm one bad motherfucker and I'm going to dominate this race. And yeah, definitely, dude. Especially you, dude. Being as big as you are, you probably get them fucking just amped, dude. Just like so amped. So that's awesome. Let's see. Going back to the chat, Jason saying Jordan just has raw speed, and man, we've seen that over the years. Jordan's just lights out fast, man. Like the things that guy can do on some of those sections at MTF. Mac, you were there training with those guys, like. I saw just some videos, dude, and I was like, holy crap. You must have been flipping out of your mind, huh? It is insane. Like, so we just made a change to the Supercross track the week before Detroit. Yeah. Well, actually, so what they did, it was really cool. The week before Daytona, they made like a Daytona track. They connected some of the outdoor track to the Supercross track, made a bunch of changes. It was sick. And then they changed it back to the Supercross track. And they basically, the long rhythm section at Detroit, they put that same exact rhythm into our track. And I think the MTF posted a video of it a couple days ago, whatever, and Jordan did the biggest line you possibly could on this. And it's just that day, I think it was just me and him, like the day after, like 2 days after Daytona or like something like that in the morning. And first time seeing it, it was like his 3rd or 4th time, like around the track first, like, so like 3rd or 4th time seeing that section. And just pulls this massive, like a 3/4 something or whatever. Huge. And like, I'm sitting like in the middle of the track and I can't really see him. I just see his bike just launch up and then launch up again. I'm like, he is pulling something huge right now. Yeah. Like the kid is just impressive. Like whoever said, like they're absolutely right. He's got raw speed. Like, if we just like can basically bring that raw speed and bring in like consistency to like the race, like he's a top 3 guy to win every time. Like it's just we've ridden with Craig, we've ridden with Jet. Like Jordan's there. Like he's capable of like being there. It's just like we got to put all the pieces together.
Oh, for
it's
sure.
like with every other racer who's not winning. There's pieces together. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Bobby's asking, how is Marty? Do you get a chance to interact with him a lot?
Every single day I have to interact with that old man. No, he's awesome. He's like pivoted into this like manager role extremely well. He's beyond organized and just driven to like the guy's only known factory teams or factory level teams his entire career. So like he knows how they're ran. He knows how they get stuff done. Like although he was a rider, like the guys over here with us, like helping us build bikes, literally doing whatever is needed to be done. Gotcha. He's a tough boss for sure. He wants things done the right way and only the right way. And if there's anything like slightly away from that, like he'll let you know. Like he runs this like a factory team.
That's solid. That's awesome.
But it's also like cool because he's still Marty. Like he's still a fun guy like to be around, and like we'll still like screw off at like the end of the day or something like that, and just
keep it fun, keep it light.
Still a fun environment, just like to kind of have him like around the shop and stuff like that. See him like go through the stresses of what like managing a team like this are like. It's a good deal of fun.
That's awesome, man. Shout out to Disciple. Thanks for checking in, buddy. I did see Sexton's crash. That was absolutely insane. No idea how he didn't just completely like just knock himself out. That was absolutely gnarly. Hopefully he can come back and dude, I hear you, man. It's crazy. Fire at Will saying he's also a big guy, dude. 6'2", 275. Any tips on suspension setup for him? Like what can you do to make the bike work better and be more comfortable for him, Mac?
I mean, I would immediately go for like if it's stock suspension, I would say at least like a respring. You don't necessarily have to go full blown like revalve. Like depending on what like your budget is, like I would say at least like just spring it for your weight. And then outside of there, if you're like a novice C like entry level kind of guy, like stop like the stock valving is going to be fine for you. If you're getting into that amateur B, A range, something like that, like you're gonna like a revalve is something that's gonna come like a necessity. Just basically the faster like you go. But if nothing else, like being a bigger guy, like just I would say at least get it sprung for like your height and weight and stuff like that. And it'll be a lot better. It won't just blow through the stroke, and you'll actually really use like what's in there for the valving and stuff like that.
Most definitely. I'm a big proponent for, I'm a bigger guy. I'll say that. So yeah, revalve and respring for me, buddy.
That's big boy, Dave.
Big boy racing, buddy. Big boy racing. We gotta get the bike working right. Looking back at the race right now, we got Freezy out front, dude, with Thrasher behind him. Freezy, no surprise, got the whole shot. And those Hondas, man, I'm telling you, those Hondas looking good. He's done a firepower bike, but man, it's the MCR bike's got to be pretty close to what you guys are working on over there. I want to shout out to Mumford, man, because he's making it work on a Suzuki 250. And I know you can say a lot about, well, it's not really a stock Suzuki 250. I agree. But the fact that he's really like the lone Suzuki guy out there and he's running top 3 right now, hats off, man. Plus, it's really cool to see him riding, up towards the front. We haven't really seen Mumford ride to his true potential, being an amateur phenom and making a move over to the pro ranks. We haven't really seen him, make runs towards the front very often. So it's really cool twofold to see Mumford up there, and the fact that he's on a Suzuki, it's freaking awesome. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a battle between Thrasher and Freezy. And as you guys know, Thrasher won some races last year. I believe it was Atlanta. Guys, extreme talent, really young and relatively new to the pro ranks. He shook things up in amateurs when he was riding for Orange Brigade KTM. Seemed like he was their top guy leading into the pros. And then, boom, got snapped up by the jaws of the Star Racing Yamaha crew, which – it's the best team, man. We see time and time again, people go to that team. They are absolutely phenomenal, and they've got the pedigree to turn guys into a champion. Mac, how hard is it to transition from the amateurs to the pros and be successful? Because to me, it seems like it's like a 1 in a million shot. But I mean, you work with AMs, you work with pros, you work with guys who are, in between that transition phase. how hard is it to come into the pros and start swinging right away?
It's extremely hard, especially if you're not already part of like a program. Like for instance, like Deegan will have he'll have an easier transition because he's already part of like a solid program. But like if you're like how most kids used to be, just a kid who races like all the national races and stuff like that, and then just goes pro, like they're not working out the way they should. They're not eating the way they should. They're not doing what they need to do off the bike and even on the bike, as far as like hours on the bike and what they're doing while they're riding. Like you need a solid program to be able to go and have that transition smoothly. And like you talk to any of like the first year pros, like who went through like the futures this year and started racing pro, like that's their biggest thing. They're like, I'm just getting tired. I'm just getting gassed. Like you can have like raw speed. Yeah. But if you can't put it together for like one very fast lap and then 20 minutes or 15 minutes of that, it's basically that same lap, maybe off a half a second from that same lap, and stay consistent. Like
it's tough, man. A lot of people can't do it. And speaking of raw speed in a good program, we've got the one and only Jordan Jarvis checking in. What's up, Jordan? How you doing?
Doing a lot better now that computers and such are working properly.
We've all, me and Mack had issues, so don't worry. So you're checking in with Jordan Jarvis, absolute legend in the sport. I wish I could say that I taught her all that she knows, but that'd be a huge lie. We love hanging out with her. Myself and Mack had the absolute pleasure of working alongside of her the last couple of years on the SGB team, and you've since transitioned off. And you made a run in Daytona. How was that? Like, that was pretty freaking sick.
It was wild. It was an experience for sure. I really didn't have any expectations going into it. I just wanted to go and learn and walk away safe. I think my only goal was just not to get hurt. But it worked out really well. I got to ride press day, so that was good. It scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I didn't know until I rode that the tracks on press day are not the best. From what everyone else has said, and I agree with them, it seems like they just don't finish forming the jumps and the transitions and stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah, Mack, you know that all too well, man.
They basically use us as like guinea pigs of like
test dummies.
Like it needs to be worked in better and what's okay.
Exactly. That kind of freaked me out a little bit. It took me a little bit longer to get used to the track than I would have liked. But I definitely felt a ton better on Saturday. I mean, I was also in C practice, so I didn't have like Jet Lawrence and, all the legitimate, the top 10 in the 250 class just flying past me. So that made me feel a little bit more comfortable. But no, it was great. It helped me out quite a bit. I learned a lot, which is really what I was hoping for. I know what to expect now for when I do like a full season of it. And it won't be such an unknown thing for me. So that's definitely going to give me some more confidence going into it. And my only other goal was not to be last, and I wasn't last. So that worked.
That doesn't always work for me. I end up last quite a bit. So I can't say that I have that luck. So speaking of, moving forward and stuff in next year, like what are your plans? Are you looking to make a full series run at Supercross, or are you looking to hop in and do some select ones? Like what are your plans for, rest of this year and then next year?
The rest of this year, I'm just going to start getting ready for outdoors. That's my goal, my main priority. My best chance at doing anything is probably in motocross. I feel a ton more comfortable.
Gotcha.
But I'm eventually going to do a full season of Supercross, at least one. I haven't figured out if I'm going to do a couple, spend a couple years in it. I want to do at least one so I can say I did it, learn from it, and improve myself and improve my riding and stuff like that. But I will definitely be doing West Coast because East Coast is ridiculous.
Why is that? Why not East Coast?
What's wrong with East Coast?
God, there's so many. So, okay, I was listening to qualifying earlier, and they were talking about which coast they think is harder. And I'm going to say my personal belief is that West Coast is normally harder. It's got normally more of the front runners.
Yeah.
But the pack that I'm in, East Coast normally has more of them.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this weekend. Look at this weekend. There's only 40 people, 40 or 39 people in the 250 class.
Oh, yeah.
Both classes, everybody made it in.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it didn't start out that way. It definitely started out like pretty even, but then like first round took out two of the front runners like right away or whatever. It just like there was so many more like lasting injuries West Coast like within the first two rounds. And yeah, it turned into like the top 5 are really like they're in a league of their own, and then everyone else falls off quite a bit. And like East Coast, it's just, I mean, top 8 could potentially win. Like obviously Jet is like probably favored to win in most, but like McAdoo had like max speed last weekend, and McAdoo's starting to figure it out a little bit. And like Pierce is fast. Like if Pierce can like stay up, Pierce is fast.
Yeah, no doubt about that. It's just, you know, the border of making it in like that pack is, you know, I'm hoping to be there. But that's that sort of area in the class. There tends to be more in East Coast than West.
For sure. Yeah, I think it all looks freaking difficult, so I'm not going to say anything, man. both coasts scare the shit out of me, so you know what do I know? Jordan, if you had to pick out one race that to you is like extremely like, nope, not doing that one, that's too scary, what would it be, or what would those tracks be?
Oh boy. I mean, I don't know if there's necessarily a track that I would say I wouldn't do. I mean, yeah, you said it. Supercross is scary as hell.
Yeah. You and I were walking the track at Orlando a couple of years ago. You remember, and we were like, "What the hell is this, dude? Like, there's no way you were doing 3 on, 2 off. Like, it's insane."
Yeah, no, the front guys in the 450 class and 250 class, you know, they're busting out rhythms and stuff like that I didn't even think were, you know, able to do on a 250 or like able to do from an inside on a 450 or something like that. It's gnarly, that's for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I mean,
gnarly.
I would say I would do all of them, but then, you know, you get there and the whoops are past your hips or whatever, and it's like, maybe not.
I'm all good. That's
I'll just wait until the night show where everyone's doubling through it and tripling through it. Then I'll go out.
Exactly. Heading back to the chat, Fire at Will says she crushed it in Daytona, talking about you, Jordan, of course. Just wanted to let her know that I got my girlfriend back into Supercross because she crushed it at Daytona. So thanks for that. There you go, inspiring Fire at Will's girlfriend to get back into the sport because she saw you just kicking ass. So awesome job, Jordan. Bobby, who interned for the SGB team last year, said good luck to you. He met you at Southwick, and you're a great rider with awesome potential. And I have to agree with that. And Disciples also saying that Jordan has to at least beat AJ in the 250 race, which I don't think it's going to be too hard lately, man. I think you might have his number.
Supercross, maybe motocross. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll definitely see.
Well, we'll see.
All day. He can't make more than 2 laps on a moto track.
Yeah. I can do. Well, that's kind of why I do so much better in motocross, is because I can do the long motos. I cannot do sprints to save my life. But give me a 35-minute moto, and I can almost guarantee you my last couple of laps of that 35-minute moto are going to be just as fast, or not, if not faster, than the beginning of the race.
Yeah, it all feels like sprints to me.
If I could just get to the motos, I'd be golden. I'd be doing fantastic. I
believe so. I mean, for myself, it all feels like a sprint, but you know what? That's why I'm not proud. That is definitely why. Yeah.
I got a really fast bike this year, so I'm hoping that's going to help me out in qualifying.
Yeah. So you're back on the Yamahas. What was your thought process behind going back to Yamaha? Like, what made you want to vacate the other brands you were on?
Well, I bought the Honda, and you know that sucked because bikes are a lot of money, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the Honda. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my Yamaha. I was on it for years when I was an amateur. It feels absolutely comfortable to me because I was on it for so long, but I loved the Yamaha, or the Honda, excuse me. It wasn't necessarily the fastest out of the box like Yamahas are,
Yeah.
but the handling of it was fantastic. Like it handled probably the best bike I've ever had.
Yeah.
But no, this team actually messaged me on Facebook, and they were offering a lot. And, you know, at first I told my dad, I was like, there's no way this is real. Like, it's a brand new team I've never even heard of. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
But this new team, Riding on the Edge, they're based out of Iowa. The team is me, Isaiah Clark, who killed it in a couple Supercrosses, but I think he got hurt, which is why.
He's gnarly in arena cross also.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Super good.
But I think he got hurt, which is why he hasn't done any more of them.
Yeah. Yep.
Me, Isaiah Clark, Wade Brommel, who killed it in outdoors last year.
Gotcha.
And a new kid that's coming up. This is going to be his first year doing pro motocross.
Nice.
So it's a pretty solid team.
Yep.
I won't be the youngest on it for once. This new kid coming up is a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
Gotcha.
No, they've been awesome. Everything they said they were going to do for me and help me out with, they have, and they've surpassed it by so much. He's been amazing.
That's awesome.
I was a little worried. The team owner and his wife came out to Daytona to come watch me ride and stuff like that. And I was like, oh man, I think I'm going to get last. Like, my team owner's here.
Yeah.
He was thrilled to death. He was
awesome.
super excited. Yeah, no, I mean, it's been an awesome experience so far, and I think it's only going to get better. He's really looking forward to it, just because I kind of have more experience with like publicity and stuff like that compared to the other guys on the team do. You know, I got more ideas and stuff like that, just stuff to kind of help out the team.
Yeah.
But no, so far so good. It's been amazing. The team's awesome. The bikes are fantastic. Like, the bike I had at Daytona, which is now actually my practice bike, is probably one of the fastest bikes I think I've ever rode.
Oh, that's good. That always makes you feel good. One thing that I want to give you and Matt credit for is you guys both seem to thrive in that new team environment. So where that would normally freak people out, I feel like both of you guys really get into a really good cadence with the new team, set yourself up on a solid path, and you guys don't deviate. And I think that's what really makes you guys both strong. Mac on the, you know, more of the mechanic, crew chief side, and yourself on the rider side. You both kind of have some of this innate understanding of, you know, follow protocol, you know, understand that things have to be flexible, and you guys both attack both of your respective tasks and responsibilities very well, which is not easy for a lot of teams. And I mentioned it earlier, starting a whole new outfit, a whole new team, it's a lot, and it can be very, very stressful, and not many people, especially riders, can gel well with it. One rider that does gel well with it is Barsha. Since he did it last year, he has been on fire, and right now he is out front and making it look fairly easy. Now that he's not knocking people off their motorcycle, he's got Muskin behind him, and we see Webb kind of pushing his way up to the front, making some passes. Jordan, what has been your thoughts so far in the 450 class? Like, we've had some bar bringing action, a lot of different front runners. Like, what are your thoughts on how we've been doing so far this year?
I mean, I think the racing's been pretty awesome. Real quick, got to give a shout out to A-Ray while he's hopefully stays in 8th and doesn't have some crazy shit happen like last weekend.
Him and the Rans, man. Yeah, doing it out.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's been awesome. There's definitely been, you know, I was kind of a little disappointed when Tomac just started pulling away from everybody else and been winning so much.
Yeah.
Like, come on, we want some battles. Like, we want some battles for the lead.
Yeah, no, for sure. Most definitely. Mac, who are you rooting for this title, man, for the 450s? I know you've got probably some like personal friendships with half these guys since you're all connected and stuff. But who are you hoping wins this title from the 450s?
I mean, I've always been like a Tomac fan, but honestly, like, I went into this season wanting Anderson to like bounce back, and obviously like a while up until like that last race where he didn't finish. It looked like that's what it was going to be, was like a Tomac Anderson fight, which would have been sick to see. And like we're still going to see it. Like Anderson's still going to come back and be just as fast as like he was. Like we're still going to see like some great racing. But like I was really like, especially after like the first couple of rounds, everything was starting to shape up. And like I think Anderson can like get it done. Like it'll be tough. Like Tomac obviously looks so good on this new bike, but
yes, he does.
Anderson looks just as good.
Yeah,
and
no, for sure.
I was like, I guess if you had to make me choose, I would say I'm a bigger Anderson fan than I am over Tomac, just because like I like his like style.
Yes,
like
same.
Very flowy kind of rider. Like
same.
He's one of those where like it doesn't look like he's trying horribly hard when he's going fast. When he is, but it's just he can be so smooth and just like a couple of bad mistakes here and there that kind of cost him a little bit of bad luck. Like it is what it is, but you take those away and like he's right there with Tomac. Like they're a couple points away from each other.
No, for sure. I love the fact that you know, Anderson just looks so flowy and so like rejuvenated on that Cowie, man. He's making it work, and the way he's riding it looks freaking phenomenal. Let's see, going back to the chat, Serena McChesney asked Jordan, do you prefer the cable clutch or the hydraulic clutch for your Yamaha?
Oh, I'm sorry. The Cade Clayson just got cleaned out by Morant.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure that was last transfer spot.
That probably was, yes, probably was a transfer spot.
Yeah, I'll leave it to last transfer spot always. I think Clayson might still get it, actually. We'll see.
Yeah, top 9, right?
Like, just like didn't see it coming, which I don't see.
Wow, no, Clayson still got in. Wow, we talked about a last lap for him. Yeah, and I see. I don't know. I didn't really have any issues with the hydraulic clutch, but I don't know, because I run recluses in all my bikes.
Yeah,
and it's a hard clutch to beat. Let me just tell you, I've used them forever, and that is by far my favorite clutch I think I've ever used. So it's close. Nice. I think I'm gonna go with a cable clutch better. That's just one less thing to break.
Yeah.
And you know, leave it to me to break stupid stuff.
Well, you're good at breaking stuff.
I don't know what you're talking about. But it's always something dumb. Like it's not like I'm like riding the bike dumb, or you know, it's like always something that I can't do to prevent most of the time. I just had shit luck.
That is hilarious.
I think like a lot of riders too like prefer a cable clutch just because like they're under control of the adjustment. Like with a hydraulic clutch, there's no adjustment. If it feels the way it feels, and that's it. Pretty much, like unless you want to sit there and like rebleed it, like obviously like on the line or on the track, like if it starts going away, it starts going away. Like the cable clutch, if it feels a little weird, you spin the little dial right there midair or whatever, and it's just like it gives you the ability to put your clutch where you want it.
Especially in Supercross, you ride the hell out of your clutch. You need to be able to adjust that if it starts fading too bad.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's one of my biggest critiques in my Cowie is the hydraulic clutch just feels so foreign. It feels like a light switch. It's like on or off. I have like no friction zone. It's so weird for me. So I might be making the jump to a 250 Blue Crew or Honda pretty soon, depending on.
Oh, there you go.
Whoever gets me a better deal. So I'm not brand loyal, so we'll see.
I wasn't on Hondas for the longest, so I don't know. I want to say they do decent, but from my time on Yamahas, you know, they haven't changed in years.
Yeah.
They're bulletproof for the most part.
Yep, I agree. I rode my buddy's 250 last year. It was Manny's Mack, and holy crap, dude, that thing freaking barked. Even with my fat ass on it, and thinking it was stock, I was pulling corners like insides and third. I was like, oh my gosh, it's way different than my 250, man. Back in the day, oh my gosh, night and day difference.
One thing
the Yamahas are so nice on Supercross.
Oh yeah,
they got right off the bottom.
Yeah. Like it's so fast top too, but like they just bark so much lower than any other bike stock.
Yeah, it's just it's insane.
It's that freaking upside down motor they got, man.
Yeah, right. Help things. It's all witchcraft. One thing I do want to touch on before we get back into the next race is the fight last weekend between Raper and Ray, both O'Neill guys. What are your thoughts on it? I'll start with you, Jordan, being a racer. What are your thoughts on that brawl? I know I think I know where Mack's gonna go with it, but what were your thoughts on it, Jordan?
I mean, I understand why he was mad. Like I totally do. Emotions are ridiculously high, especially in race situations. Like this previous year at Hangtown, it was first practice, like first qualifying practice. Never been there before, so I don't know the track like at all.
Yeah.
And it was like the roller section, and then it was like a double outside or roll inside, and then made a left and came straight back.
Yeah.
So a lot of us, because we were in B practice, we were going up the middle and then to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to name names, but somebody came up the inside of me and got super sketch and like doubled next to me and almost clipped me and almost landed on me. And I got pissed off and I took him high. I wasn't intentionally trying to take him out, but he ended up no. Like I was just, because it's practice. I was just trying to take him high, and he tried to cut down and clip my back wheel. Yeah. And then came back a couple laps later because he's quite a bit quicker than me, and tried to do the same thing to me and ended up pushing me off the track. So like, I get it. Especially in like a heat race, I understand why he was mad. But I've never been one to understand why you would fight with gear on. First off, you're not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, you're not doing nothing, dude.
You got helmets, chest protectors. Like, you're not going to accomplish anything. So it's just more energy wasted, potentially a fine or DQ'd for the night.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I say I'll understand it. But let's hope he doesn't do it again.
The fine.
I don't think AMA would take too fondly of that. It's happened twice, and I know O'Neill didn't take fondly to it either.
No, definitely not. And Mack,
they're playing it.
For you, Mack, I'm sure you'd probably just take the dude's helmet, rip it apart, and then just start pummeling the dude, hulks down to the ground. What were your thoughts on the fight, man?
About that, but I just I saw that, which I'm seeing it right now again for the replay. Alex is just Alex, dude. Like, you can't, like, you're not gonna change him. It's, I mean, he definitely shouldn't have went for it, but at the same time, like Jordan said, he was pissed. Like, you're gonna act with the emotion in that second. Like, you're in the middle of a race, transfer spot, which I think most of Alex's recent main events have gone through LCQ. So if he's in a transfer, he's apparently literally willing to kill someone to get into that main event straight through. So I get it, but I mean, obviously, should he have done it? No. Was it great to watch? Absolutely. I'll watch it every weekend.
No, for sure. It kept things fun and interesting. But yeah, dude, if I'm getting in a fight at a race, I'm doing more than just shoving the dude. Like, if I'm that angry, which I never get angry, so I probably will never happen. But dude, that's gonna be absolutely nuts. Going back to the race right now, we got Malcolm Stewart out front. We got Anderson and Tomac running in third, and our boy Chiz is up there, man, looking good. You know, that FXR Moto kit, dude, when you have that on, it's an extra 10 horsepower. If you guys want to wear the FXR Moto kit too and look as fly and fresh as Chiz, myself, and all the other FXR athletes, check out the fxrmoto.com, almost to the collective right there, and use our promo code that's linked below in the description. Save money and feel like an industry insider like these two who are joining me. One thing I want to put out there is, as much as I love Jason Anderson and seeing the way that he's been riding on the Kawasaki and he looks goddamn phenomenal, Mookie has really stepped it up, and he's been making those leaps and bounds every year. But this year on the Alden Baker program, losing the weight, getting his racecraft more dialed in, dude, he looks absolutely phenomenal. Mack, what are your thoughts on Mookie, man? Like, do you think he can get the job done one of these weekends and get a title, get the win?
I think he can definitely get a win, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That's without question. My TV just shut off. That's cool. But along with that, he can get next year, dude, watch out. He's going to get a title. Like,
you think so? Yeah.
He's going to be like top contender for a title next year. This is
I can see that
year of this program for him, and he's gelling that well with it. The bike, he looks great on the bike. Like, they're not going to, I don't see him making a change to the bike that he's on. So it should be the same for the 2 years that he signed for. And yeah, he's just gonna, it's only going to get better for him. The longer that he's on that team, on that program, obviously like the Alden Baker thing is working for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he can definitely pull off a win or two. I think he's got the speed to beat Eli straight up. It's just, he's got to be able to hold it together for that long. It seems like the mistakes have been coming more for him later on in the race.
Yeah.
And then like that lights a fire up like under him and he starts going a lot faster after that. But like, if he can just minimize those, yeah, he's going to get a win or two this season.
I definitely think so. JJ, if there's one thing that you could take away from his riding style, like if a genie was like, you get one fundamental from Mookie to put into your riding style, what would it be?
Whoops. By far the whoops. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. If I could attack whoops like that, oh my gosh.
He is an absolute killer in the whoops. And I think that's really showing right now. They just replayed Alex Martin's crash through the whoops.
Dude, honestly,
they are beat up.
Yeah, they're bad. Nobody ever has made a 450 look more big than Alex Martin. And I love Alex, dude. I think he's a super cool dude. He's a great racer. But every time I see him ride the 450, I'm like, dude, is he on a 650? Like, what about this bike is just that much bigger than everyone else's? Like, literally, when he's on the line, his bike looks 8 times bigger than anyone else's. I don't know how this guy does it. I didn't realize how short he was. But, man.
So small. The first time I met him, we were at a riders meeting somewhere in like 2015 or something, and he was he walked up behind me and stood next to me, and like to myself, I was like, "Holy shit!" I knew he was short,
yeah,
but I'm like, "There's no way like you're this short." Like, dude, he's small.
Like, well, you're also like 6'4", so everybody looks ridiculous.
Yeah, Mack is a giant.
Short. Like, I was just not expecting that. That's a fair point, but
dude,
he's definitely little, but
yeah, dude, Max sticks the chapstick bigger than Amart, so yeah, it's a different vibe. But no, dude, like it looks like Amart's struggling this year, man. Like between the whoops and just moving that big bike around, I see some flashes of brilliance here and there, but for the most part, I'm like, holy shit, dude, this guy's making it look very difficult out there, you know.
I think that the 450 is a lot for him to handle. It's a big jump from a 250 to a 450, especially when you can be as strong as you want, but being short like that definitely hinders you from being able to control the bike as well as, say someone like Anderson, who's really tall on the bike, just that more movement from your legs and being able to take more impact from your arms and stuff like that. And the tracks have been brutal this year. So I think that's also something to consider.
No, most definitely. I think you're into something. Apologies for the runny nose. I'm house sitting a dog right now, or dog sitting a dog right now. So it's killing my allergies. But no, I think you're 100% right on that one. Looks like we've got JA and Tomac right behind Mookie, man. They're catching up. And that kind of goes to what you were saying a little earlier, JJ, on the stamina, man. Like, how hard is it to cultivate not only the speed, but like the stamina you need to sustain, for a solid race throughout? Like, how do you begin to even train or wrap your program around something like that?
It's honestly, it's probably one of the harder things to be able to do in racing, because you can train, you can do everything, you like work out super hard at the gym, but you can't necessarily replicate the feeling you get when you're racing.
Yeah.
And especially not even just when you're racing, but when you're out front or battling for like a transfer position or like something along the lines of that, where it's super high energy.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to replicate those conditions.
Yeah.
And I think Malcolm is finally, getting used to it and is seeing that, that he can do it if he can hold on, or You know, you got to have a little bit of luck on your side. Like, you can always be the fastest racer, but you still have to have good luck with you.
Yeah.
And I feel like he just hasn't had that this year. I feel like he's had some not so good luck. So I feel like once he gets that and he's able to hold on the whole moto, he's going to be tough to beat. Him and Sexton. I feel so bad for Sexton.
What's happening with Sexton? Why is he crashing all the time now? Like, what? He's so fundamentally perfect on the motorcycle, and he rides a motorcycle in a very very stable way, from, like, you know, the way that he articulates his body and in his normal stance. Why is he crashing so much?
I mean, again, the big bike. I think, you know, he's so used to being on the 250. You know, he's on the 250. He looked like to be a little taller. Mm-hmm. Maybe in the torso, he looked a little taller. Yeah. But, you know, bad luck. I mean, look at him and Webb. Like, that was just shit circumstance.
Yeah, that looked brutal.
And then his crash today. I don't think he raced the heat race today.
No, I don't remember. He's out. No, he's out. He's out for the rest of the night.
Yeah, that looked. I mean, it's obviously it's hard to tell when you're not there, or, you know, on the bike or whatever. But it either looked like he clicked false neutral, or something happened where he just lost power to the back wheel, because the second he landed, he was over the front of the handlebars, like something stopped the bike from moving.
Yeah.
So
definitely like caught cross neutral, or just like was stuck in third or whatever and just was revved out, because that was like watching that, like when they first showed it to us and I wasn't looking like at his foot, I'm like, the bike blew up. Like I'm like, that's the what it just threw over the bars.
Just stopped. Yep.
So I mean,
that's crazy to me.
I personally feel like Chase Sexton's going to be the man to beat in a year or two.
Yeah.
You know, he's super young compared to everybody else. And this is it's his second year in the class, but he got 3 races last year before he got hurt.
Yeah. And which he looked like he was winning one last year. I think it was one of the Houston rounds before he wiped himself out kind of early. So
the sand section.
Yeah,
it was the middle of the race, and he had a massive lead and threw it away.
Yes.
I mean, look at that crash he had a couple weekends ago when he just came out of the corner and his front end drifted to the left and caught and tossed him. Like, that was crazy. Did you see the picture of his wheel after? That thing was folded in half.
Dude, insane to me.
That is just wild. I mean,
and those are factory rims. Those are heavy duty. Matt, those are some big boy rims.
It takes a lot to fold those. It takes a lot.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, it just kind of comes back to how, like, you got to have some good luck on your side.
Yeah.
It's not all about being fastest, unfortunately. I wish that was the case.
Yep. Man, that'd be nice. take the whole luck element out of it. Oh, yeah. You'd be solid. We'd all be solid. No, I definitely – I think he's a world-class talent. You can see it. You can see in some practices where the dude is lights out. Like, there's no one around him. The things he's able to do on a 450, where he's moving the rear end around really lightly. He's hooking into these really tight insides. He's getting traction where you really shouldn't get traction. And Jason Anderson's another person who can get traction really easily too. Some of, like, you know, the way he's hopping through the whoop, stuff like this. It looks so freaking cool. He makes it look easy, but then once the one thing happens and he's on the ground, right? So I don't know. I hope that he can figure out that secret ingredient to stay on 2 wheels, right? Whether that's backing it down a little bit, maybe looking farther ahead, maybe changing some way that he rides a motorcycle in order to make that happen. I'm not sure what it is. Guys, let me know in the chat what you think Sexton's sort of downfall is, and if you guys think that there's something that he can tweak in order to come back to prominence, the way that he rode the 250 and got the title. Can we see him come back and get a 450 title anytime soon? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Talking about the 450s, we saw Roczen bow out a couple weeks ago. You know, I'm, again, far from a pro racer. I'll start with you, Mack, on this one. What are your thoughts on Roczen taking a back seat for this title for 2022? Do you think it's mental? Do you think it's physical? Do you think it's team related? Why do you think he's setting out the rest of the series?
I think it's 100% mental. I think physically he's not fine. I think he's as fine as he can be for someone in his situation. Like he'll never be 100% after everything he went through.
Yeah.
But I think like physically, like he was okay. Like at least to a point of something that he hasn't raced through before.
Yeah.
But I think it was completely mental. Like you could see it, like if like you read into it a little bit more, like you can see like he was doing a lot more things during the week to help that mental state or whatever you want to kind of call it.
Yep.
But that's, I mean, you can take that as like, oh, that's a good thing, or you can take it as a sign of like, well, he's searching for something. So that means he's not where he needs to be. And I think like it showed drastically in like his riding. I think obviously he came out firing.
Yep.
And there's a steady decline of his results from round one. And like he isn't looking himself. Like there's no charge in him. And like it wasn't a surprise to me the day that he announced it.
Yeah.
I did also see him the night after, I think it was Daytona was the last time he raced. I saw him the night after that. He talked to Marty for a long time. And like you could just see him and he was just he looked done. Like he looked like he was just ready to be done.
Yeah.
And like I think he'll come back for sure. I think he'll come back. He's not where like he needs to be.
What are your thoughts on it, JJ?
No, I mean, Kenny was my go-to guy. Like he was always my favorite to win. He's such a nice guy. Yeah. I met his wife years ago and she was super sweet to me and my mom.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think it was mostly mental. But going back to the first race, he came out fantastic. And then the next race or two, I think he had some shit luck. You know, he had, I think it was Anderson hit him one time, somebody else hit him another time. And then he had that crash in qualifying with Sexton in the whoops. And I don't know what could have happened, but he definitely wrung his head pretty good. But I think that started messing with him a little bit. And I think it would just steadily, got worse the more he realized that he was struggling. And, like once you're in the middle of a season, you're not going to change anything.
Yeah.
It's too late. And I think he started realizing that. And instead of letting it break himself down more by, not doing what he knows he can do.
Yeah.
I think he pulled the plug to keep himself probably a little more upbeat mentally and physically. He knew he was out of the championship and there was a good chance of getting hurt. So he probably just took the rest of the season off. He's got his son now. So I'm sure that's playing a part. That might be why, he hit his head pretty good. And it might have scared him, might have, brought back some memories from his gnarly injuries to his arm and realized, hey, I got a kid now. I can't be doing this.
Yeah.
And,
very well could be.
Obviously, we probably will never know. That's probably going to be, a secret that's kept. But yeah, I think he's going to come back. Hopefully he comes back himself.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll see. We'll see if Chase is holding the top spot for HRC now.
Yeah, we'll see we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm curious to see what happens outdoors and if this affects his contract negotiation moving forward, because we very well could have Roczen take that or Sexton take that spot and have another young gun kind of come up and assume Chase's spot right now, right? Like that second tier. So let's see. We'll see. We just had a quick little brief showing of the Kawasaki Science and Supercross with the roost protection. And one thing I've always wondered is how many top pros wear roost protection. I myself, I'm a thick boy. I got this belly and these boobs, and that plus a pad keeps me pretty well protected. JJ, how many top riders wear a chest protector? And like, do you ever see us going back to the world of like the early 2000s when everyone had the over the jersey, super shiny nameplate in the back? Are we ever going back to that with like the freaking bicep protectors? Like, what are your thoughts?
No, I do not think that will ever come back. I mean, very rarely will you see some of the pros wearing a chest protector.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll catch like Dylan Ferrandis, I think is the only one that really wears a chest protector over his gear consistently. You'll see some people at like Washington or like Washougal or some of the like harder dirt, like Rocky or maybe High Point, that'll throw a chest protector on for that race specifically, but won't consistently use it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to assume, but I think that they're, because I've had a rider tell me this before, a pro rider, that they think it slows them down or, you know, it limits their movements and stuff like that. But honestly, it's just preference. I wear a chest protector, I wear a neck brace and a mouthpiece, and I've all been told that they're the most uncomfortable things in the world and they make me go slower.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think it's a preference thing. I've rode with all that since I was little, and it doesn't bother me anymore. I broke 4 ribs in one injury with 2 other broken bones.
Yeah.
And that was with a chest protector.
Jeez.
So like, I mean, thankfully they were like hairline fractures. But just imagine if I didn't have a chest protector, like, geez, that would have been bad.
Yeah, could have been way worse.
Yeah. I mean, it does definitely make me personally look a little bigger because, you know, I'm a girl and I got some other things going on that's going to put the chest protector out a little farther than the men.
You and me both, sister. You and me both.
Yeah. But no, it's worth maybe like some chafing from the chest protector rubbing up against me in the summer for that one time that I might smash my chest on the handlebars or something like that. Like,
so I have never had chafing happen ever before, right? Until I borrowed my buddy's super mod KTM 450. And I had to hold on with every muscle in my body that I think I was like super flexing the pec muscles. And I had no nipples left after that. Like the inside of my thighs, my stomach. And I had like, dude, I literally had to get like Band-Aids for weeks after. It was the worst. Ever since then, I'm like, yep, we're taping and we're going for a more smooth chest protector. Dude, it was absolutely freaking brutal. And yeah, I agree with you 100%. I personally wear it under the jersey. I think it fits well with me. It's not too bulky, but it gives me that added sense of like, all right, I've got some protection in case something happened, right? If I was just, you know, straight, like, you know, a t-shirt or whatever underneath it, or just straight jersey, I feel a little unprotected. You know what I mean? So I definitely in my gear bag, I have an over the jersey in case I go to like a super rocky or hard track. But yeah, I think I agree with you. I think the days of the every moto nonstop over the jersey, I think that's gone.
Yeah, you got to be prepared for the worst. I mean, motocross happens so quick. A lot of times you don't have any, like, you're not going to be able to fix a mistake every single time. Like, it's going to bite you every so often.
Yep.
And it's worth having that extra little bit of protection. I mean, the chest protectors now are a lot better than they used to be. Like, the one I wear is the one, I want to say Ken Roczen wears, and I think Sexton, but I'm not positive.
Gotcha.
It's a Fox one that's got like a hard plastic front.
Yep.
And then it's like a hard orange foam on the back that forms with your back.
Gotcha.
It's
I wear something similar. Yeah, I got
super comfortable.
Yep.
So you just got to find something that works for you, and then you know, just roll with it.
Most definitely. I think that's awesome. Let's see. Going back to the chat, Tony says he wears his on the outside. Disciple, I wear a chest protector until I went pro. Then I thought it was too good to wear one, but I rocked my kidney belt. That's going back a ways. Bunny saying Ryan Hughes says chest protectors and knee braces are no good. I don't know, man. I gotta have both of them. I gotta have my knee braces and chest protector, man. I'm sorry.
I tore my ACL when I was like 10 because I was wearing knee pads, and I still have problems with my knee. Knee braces are a must.
No,
I cannot tell you how many times I hit my knee on my handlebar. And catch it. And let me just tell you, that sucker hurts. That's like,
it sucks.
It's probably not quite as bad, but I'm going to say it's equivalent to a razor scooter to the ankle. Like, it's close.
Razor scooter to the ankle.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on Super Minis, I was so big on the bike. My knees were constantly hitting my handlebars.
I will say, you were like the same height. You were easily the same height that you are now.
Oh yeah, no, I was. I've been this tall since I was like 13.
Oh man, that's hilarious. Let's see. Going to the race, we've got a buddy of Max and mine. We got Mr. Josh Greco in second place in the 250 heat. We haven't seen Greco up front like this in a little while, getting used to that Cowie 250. Greco is an absolute character, and if you guys want to see what Greco's like around the races, check out any one of our vlogs from any number of years over what, maybe since 2017, 2016. Greco has been in pretty much every vlog we have, and he's always doing or saying something that is outrageous with the mustache. Just literally, like, the guy will rip a cigarette in the middle of practice, just something weird, just to keep it mixed up. But no, Greco is an awesome dude. We love having him in the program. He does phenomenal with every single one of our interns and fans, and we love him for it. And he's looking pretty good in that Cowie. I mean, it's seems to be serving him pretty well right now. JJ, one thing that I'm always nervous about, and Mack, I'll ask you the same question too, is an LCQ. I don't care if you're in a C class, B class, A class, LCQs always freak me out. What is like the worst part of racing an LCQ for you?
Honestly, in my case, I'm not racing Supercross right now, like not yet. But for motocross, for me, I'm normally like right on the bubble for the LCQs.
Gotcha.
Like, you got to get top 4 to get in for the nationals, and I'm within a second of qualifying. Like I should be 4th. Like, it's very possible for me to be 4th.
Gotcha.
So just the pressure of knowing, like, I got to get a good start so I can be closer to the front, or, it not up front. Just dealing with it. I guess the pressure is ridiculous because you want to do good, you're able to, but it's such a heartbreaker when you don't do it. Gotcha. I've come so close several times.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We almost had another fight.
Oh, jeez.
Sanford
and who else?
246.
Damn, he's stomping on his bike.
That was 6th and 7th. Oh,
good Lord. Stomping on the dude. I'd be throwing hands for that one, bro. I'll be stomping on my bike. Mack.
I mean, LCQs suck.
Yeah. No, I agree. And from a mechanic standpoint, Mack, you guys don't like LCQ because it means you got to like do extra freaking work, right? To like get the bike ready in that short amount of time, correct?
It makes
dude.
Oh,
he kicked him. He kicked him, dude. What?
Oh, that's gonna be a penalty right there.
Yeah, are we allowed to do that now? Can we fight in Supercross now? Dude, that's wild. Are we allowed to do that? Is this normal racing?
This is just what we do now.
Dude, everyone just throw hands now, dude.
But yeah, you never want to go to LCQ. Like, yeah, as a mechanic, it makes it where, especially if you're heat 2, you have to, like, if there's anything that needs to be fixed on the bike, you have 10 minutes to get it done realistically. Cause like, what a lot of people don't see is like, yeah, the race may start 30 minutes after like your heat race or whatever it is, but you've got to get down in staging. At least
you got to walk
before
exactly. So you got to walk 5 minutes back to the pits.
Like you have no time. And like with like these Supercross, like where some of these places are, sometimes your pit is far away.
Yes. I'm thinking about San Diego.
To get there, there's certain, oh my God, San Diego. Yeah. If you have a bike problem and you're heat 2 and you're in the LCQ, you might as well start packing up because it's just like there's no way. There's just so little time. So it's stressful for us on like the team side of things because like if something, like I said, like a lot of times with like these faster guys, like the reason why they're going to like a LCQ is because there was a bike issue or something broke or whatever it is. So you've got 10 minutes to figure out what it is, get a new part if that's what you need, and fix it. And then from there, like after the LCQ to like the main event, especially in like obviously in the 250 class, there is no time there. So you have to go, if you transfer in, you have to go right back to the trailer, get the bike ready, and then basically turn right back around and go right back down for, like the main event. And it's just, you never want to go there. You want to at least shoot for that top 7, 8, and 9 spot. But it's, unfortunately, I've been to more main events through LCQs than I have not. So
Gotcha. No,
always another risk of getting hurt as well.
Yes, yeah. I was just gonna say that. More wear and tear on the bike and more wear and tear on yourself. Let's see. Going back to the chat, Bunny saying you gotta. Ryan Hughes says chest protector and neck brace are no good. And then let's see. Bunny Man says Disciple says you gotta take what Rhino says with a grain of salt. Jordan, Bunny Man's asking if you wear a kidney belt.
I used to, believe it or not. My dad is stuck in his old ways, and he
Rich?
Rich is a legend, dude. No way.
He lives by a kidney belt, and when I got hurt this past year, I lacerated my spleen. My dad was trying to talk me into wearing one again.
Oh man.
No, I wore it for a while, and I mean, it definitely feels more stable. If that makes sense. So it just kind of holds everything in your stomach in place.
Gotcha.
You don't really notice it, but your organs and stuff like that are bouncing around when you're riding and stuff. And it kind of just holds everything there.
Yeah.
I got so irritated with it though, because the way kidney belts work is it's Velcro.
Yeah.
Velcro gets old and it doesn't stick very well, and it's just a pain in the butt. And nobody makes them anymore.
No, you got to wear the same one you had when you were on 80. So the only one that I could find was the one I wore on 80s. And the last day I wore mine, I went off of a triple, right? Like seat bounce a triple. And when I landed on the gas and kind of like, you kind of scoot back on the bike a little bit. And I kind of like let out like my breath when I landed. And dude, my kidney belt unhooked and went flying. Dude, the minute I let my breath out, I let my stomach dude, that thing went across the track. And after that day, I was like, you know what? I got to lose weight. Number one. Number two, I can't wear a kidney belt anymore. I think my days of the kidney belt are over.
It really gets bad about popping off when the Velcro gets old.
Oh, tell me about it. You gotta tuck it in the pants.
You're lucky if it stays.
Yeah, it's not happening. Yeah, I lacerated my liver maybe 15 or so years ago. And yeah, my dad, the same thing. Hey, wear your kidney belt. I was like, yeah, dude, there's no way. I'm not doing that thing, man. Sorry, buddy, but not happening. Okay, so we got the first LCQ out of the way. That was a pretty eventful one. The fighting, dude, is just it's going to start becoming more normal, man. I see that that's going to happen at more and more local races now that we had 2 fights in the pro ranks. You're going to see every little 65
we can
rider.
do it now.
Yeah, you're going to see the 65 riders just like slugging it out now just because they see their their heroes fighting on TV. It's going to be absolutely nuts. It's going to be like WWE on dirt bikes.
Someone said it on like Race Day Live today. They should do like a hockey rule where it's like you get like 30 seconds to just you have to go off the track enough. You have to have like enough area around you, and you have 30 seconds just to go to town on each other before you can get back up on your bike.
I like it. I think that'd be very eventful, and we might start seeing some actual fights and not just a shoving match with these freaking riders, dude. Oh my gosh.
That's all you can do, though. You're in full gear. What are you gonna do? Punch a helmet? Cool. You're gonna break your own hand doing that.
Yeah, well, you could tip the chin bar up and punch underneath the chin bar, right?
So when I was growing up, I was normally bigger than most of the kids because girls tend to grow a little bit quicker than guys do. And me growing up at a moto track and stuff like that, I'd always play and build dirt bike tracks, and I'd wrestle with the guys and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I was always bigger, and I had one of my friends who was quite a bit shorter than normal. And my dad had made a joke about in cartoons where the character would put their hand on the other character and just hold them there, and they could swing and they wouldn't reach. Yeah. That's how Mack fights everybody, just so you know. Yeah. Well, so that's how I feel like it would happen. Yeah. In if that were, because I'll still mess around with my friends in staging and stuff like that. I'll just grab their their mouthpiece of their helmet and just move them with it, like back and forth and stuff. Like, you can't do nothing about it. Like, you can't do anything.
You really can't. You really can't. That's actually pretty. Yeah, you can't do shit when someone has your mouthpiece and they're like moving it around the chin bar. Like, yeah.
And if they have a long arm like I do, you are pretty much screwed. Because I mean, it's like, if you were to pull on the helmet hard enough, you literally pull them down because you're not going to stop it.
No, exactly, man. Okay, so fighting techniques from Jordan Jarvis. Number 1, be bigger than the opponent. Number 2, grab their chin bar.
First, the chin bar wins immediately.
Yeah, follow JJ's boxing rules, and you'll win every fight you get into on the track.
The mouth guard of the helmet, and then you got to sweep your leg around and hit the back of their boot to kick their boots out forward.
There you go.
The weight of the boots are ridiculous, so it carries a little bit of an extra swing to it.
I love it. I absolutely love it. That's hilarious.
Don't be fooled. Girls can fight too.
Hey, man.
We might fight dirty, but we can fight.
I ain't messing with you, JJ. Trust me. I know better. We just had the gate drop of the 450 LCQs, and it looks like we got Moran's out front. Shout out to Moran's, dude. The guy is a super nice guy, and is always a fan favorite. I think you agree with that, JJ, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, super
nice.
He's got
a great program going. He's definitely one of the more social of the group, I would say. He's very big in the social scene, which is actually, believe it or not, is very important. And that's part of why he gets so much TV time. Is because of what he does and how he does it.
Well, for sure. They just showed Logan Carr now. And I don't know if you guys have been privy, but Logan's been a part of the program for a little bit. Awesome guy. Love working with him. Fellow FXR guy. But he's had an OnlyFans chick sponsoring his program the last couple of races. Mack, I want to hear from you, brother, because you have a way with the ladies that I will never equal up to. If I had maybe another 10 inches of height, maybe. But dude, what are your thoughts on that, man? Like having an OnlyFans chick sponsoring Carr now, man.
I mean, on like a serious note, like I think it's the smartest thing he could have done.
Yeah.
Like it's the trend now is like getting these kind of off the wall sponsors or sponsors that just like aren't your typical moto sponsors, and they end up getting more like that. OnlyFans chick probably has made enough money off of just the new subscribers that she probably got from Supercross live talking about it.
Yeah.
To where like it paid off for what she already sponsored them probably. And like, that's going to work because it's something that's different. It's going to catch someone's opinion, where if it was just another sponsor, if it was a construction company or a car dealer or like some of the more like normal sponsors that these privateers have, no one will be talking about it. So like he's getting eyes on himself, which as a privateer, like you need to be able like to sell yourself.
100% agree.
If you can't, you're as like a privateer in the sport, you're not going to make it. That's one of the reasons why AJ does so well, because he's like a marketing genius when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like was able to sell himself. He's able to go racing every year for fun because of that. And I
agree. 100% agree.
He's making that so much easier by having that off the wall sponsor. Like there's people talking about him. They're getting like interviews with him and everything, and like his name's getting out there. So where next year it'll be easier for him to get sponsors, easier for him to get bikes, stuff like that.
I 100% agree. JJ, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, you have to look for outside sponsors. The sponsors that are already in the sport are full. I mean, that's the best way to put it. You know, they invest, they have a certain allotment of money they can put towards, one team or two teams, or just what they can spend overall in a year. And they're majority of the time, if they're putting money out, they're going to be booked like a year ahead. So, I mean, you have to. The Twisted Tea team, great idea. I mean, you have to be creative.
I agree.
And unfortunately, I understand all too well. I'm trying to find some outside sponsors myself. I get some of the time that, like, oh, you get more because you're a girl. It's like, okay, I may in some areas, but then again, I don't. Like, yeah, I'm the only girl racing in men's professional racing consistently right now, but I'm not getting the position that team or that sponsors in the sport want to see. And from a marketing perspective, I somewhat understand. I mean, I tend to get TV time. So there would be some appeal, I would think, hopefully. But, you know, they have to look out for them. And, you know, they are correct in what they're saying. I'm not placing the best by men's standards, but I'm doing great as a female. But unfortunately, that doesn't matter.
Yeah, you know, and I think, well, I want to give you some more credit, but I do think that you do such a good job, like letting your personality come through in racing and riding and who you connect with in the track, that I think it's almost a no-brainer for people wanting to sponsor you, because you're super social, you're very likable, and everybody seems to, like, you know you across the pitch. You're the only person I know that's waving to everybody as they walk by. So in that regard, I think it's almost worth more that you are social and inspiring to other people than it is that you get good positions. And I always use Seven Deuce Deuce as an example of this. That dude is like the mayor of Supercross. He knows everybody. Everyone loves him. Everyone knows his songs. Every fan like loves Seven Deuce Deuce. Are there guys that, you know, could place higher if they had his ride? Sure, but I guarantee you they will not have 1/10 of his interaction, his exposure, and give the fans such love and a show like he does. Plus, it doesn't hurt that the guy is also like lights out pretty quick, right? So I think all those need to be taken into account of why he is riding the way he's riding, you know, or getting the rides that he's getting right now. And I think you could fit into the equation as well. It's all about exposure. And holy crap, this LCQ is going insane right now. Moran's almost had a gnarly get off between those two lanes. Did you guys see that?
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's such a love-hate relationship with tough blocks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a complete crapshoot every time you hit them. They could either just move out of the way and it's fine, or they could rip you down.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
there we go. Moran's got her in.
Yeah, they definitely suck when you hit them most of the time.
Yeah.
But you know, everyone's like, oh, why did they have them on like the faces of jumps and stuff like that? And normally, if it's an open area, I don't think they should be on the face of them, or like the back, like the downside of the face or something.
I agree.
Like on the big triples, they have them going all the way through them. So like, there's no reason to have them on the downside of like the lip or something like that. But during the rhythms and stuff like that, the reason they have them in the middle of the rhythms, and kind of probably the reason they were designed the way they were, is to possibly make you crash so you don't go into another lane with oncoming traffic.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely see that.
They suck when you hit, but just imagine if you hit another bike that was coming from the other way.
Yeah.
That would
That's like even worse. No, 100%.
I got hurt one time in arena cross because someone crashed and landed right on a tough block and fell into my lane, and I hit him. So yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, that's absolutely gnarly. Yeah, tough blocks in me. I've got a storied past. But this has been an awesome live watch party. Typically, guys, we don't go into the mains. Especially since it's an East Coast round. I know you guys are both East Coast, so I'm not going to have you guys stay up too much more late than this. But guys in the chat, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and interacting with us. We do this just about every race, and if we don't, you can be damn sure we're going to have a vlog up that shows you guys a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. Be sure to check out our channel. We've got a lot of great content. Both of these awesome people who are in the chat have been in our vlogs multiple times. Mack more so, because JJ shies away from my camera for whatever reason. We always have an absolute blast. We want you guys to check out. We've got videos with Jet Lawrence. We've got videos with AP. We've got videos with AJ Cat. Tons of interns. We've got videos with Pastrana, where Mack absolutely destroyed his pit bike. We have awesome content, and that is true. That is absolutely true. We've got awesome content on our channel.
I messed that thing up good.
But we got to figure it out afterwards, so it's all good. But yeah, guys, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the like button as well. Mack, you've been killing it in the Firepower Honda team. If people want to follow along with you and figure out, how they can get their daily dose of Mack in their life, where can they follow you, man? Where can they reach out?
The easiest way is my Instagram, Mackenzie Engle 207. That's pretty much the only social media that I use now. And then the Firepower Honda team, you might as well give them a follow. It's Honda Racing Moto. And yeah, just look at us, or keep an eye out for us for the rest of the East Coast rounds here. We'll hopefully be up front with everyone, you know what I mean?
Mack is definitely worth the follow. He's got some cool things going on, and we love having him be a part of the program. JJ, same with you. Where can people follow along? Because we've got fans out there that want to get a daily dose of JJ as well. So where can we find out more and see what you're up to?
I'm always on my Instagram. It's JJJordan30. I'm working on getting a YouTube thing going up. Hopefully more consistent this year than last year.
Yeah, don't forget, hit me up about that. We'll get something going.
Awesome, that'd be perfect. I'm on Facebook. I'm all over the place. I promise you that. and Matt, I will say, I think you should change your Instagram name to Big Mac.
Ooh,
I've tried like every variation of it, and they're all taken.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't like mine right now because it's like too long. But it was just like after one day of trying to figure out what to put it to, I was like, I finally give up and I just put that.
Well, what about Big Moto Mac or like Big Mac Moto?
Oh, I should try something like that.
Yeah,
I'll try and get something easier because it is a pain.
I like Big Mac Moto. I like that one.
There you go.
I want to thank
Moto and then your number.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people would they'd instantly want to follow that, dude. That is a hilarious one. So if you become famous off of that one, thank JJ because she gave me the I want to thank both of you guys for being our guests this weekend. Mack, thank you for being a quasi regular, and JJ, thanks for hopping on again. We got to make you a regular on this because your content is just too awesome. We love your commentary. This is a lot of fun. Guys, we will be back for some more content this week. Check it out. And again, if you want to go behind the scenes and elevate yourself in the sport, get the hands-on experience that you want to get a career in moto, head to thecollectivexp.com. We've got numerous internship opportunities where you can be pretty much just accompanied by top tier riders like JJ, among others, to get your soiree in a Supercross, get your soiree in a motocross, and start that career that we all dream about. At the Collective EX on Instagram, send us a DM, let us know what your career goals are and how we can help you, and we will be back with more content. Guys, you enjoy the race. I will let you watch the mains by yourself, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, Dave. Thanks for having me, bro.
No problem. JJ, we'll talk soon. Mack, we'll talk soon, and be good, guys.
Later.
See ya.
That goes for you too.
I will. Be good.